Hey, what's up, guys? It's MugenLord here, and we just 3 days away before we approach 2024, and I'm gonna say that, man, 2023 have came and went. This is the fastest year I've ever experienced, but with that being said, 2024 is approaching, and that means there's a ton of games that'll be coming out next year that I'm looking forward to, more specifically JRPGs, and I want to do a little something different in this video. Just want to give you my most anticipated, I guess you say, games that I'm looking forward to, well, JRPGs that I'm looking forward to in 2024. So before we dive into this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, that notification bell for more gaming content here on this channel. So we're going to dive right into it. 2024 is looking jam-packed. I mean, from all genres across the board, but more specifically JRPGs, man. And I must say that if you're a gamer and you're definitely a big fan of JRPGs, then you have a lot of games to look forward to. But I just want to give you a list of games that I'm personally looking forward to. So if it's not on the list, it's not because I hate the game or anything. It's just something that is just not on my radar compared to it may be on your radar. But here are the games right here. So let's dive into it. The first game that I'm definitely looking forward to, been anticipating ever since I played it, is the Yakuza Like a Dragon RPG that was released about, I believe, 2 years ago. I had bought it on the Xbox Series X, really enjoyed it. I also did somewhat of a video review on it, enjoyed every aspect of it, and I love the lore, I love the characters, and this is my first introduction to the Yakuza series. I've always known that the game exists as far as the series is concerned, but I never decided to jump into it until it decided to go into turn-based RPG territory. Now, I know it could be a bit controversial, especially for fans who always love the traditional action RPG brawler that it traditionally was, and for it now convert to an actual turn-based RPG. I know it caused a lot of division, but because of Like a Dragon, it had definitely introduced me to the series, and now it encouraged me and wanted me to actually go out and play the other games. So I'm definitely going to give the other games a try. But when it comes to Like a Dragon, we definitely have a sequel that's coming, and it's coming January 28th. It's called Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which is the follow-up of the Yakuza Like a Dragon game that released about 2 years ago. And man, they definitely have upped the ante with this, introduced new characters, and apparently, I guess you'll be traveling to Miami or you'll be traveling to the United States. So I'm definitely looking forward to see some of the interactions that Ichiban is going to have going over to the western side of the world, and how it's all going to relate to back to the eastern side, back to Japan again. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And apparently they added some new gameplay and combat mechanics where you will definitely have more control over your character, opposed to you just not only just having turn-based where you just input the commands and watch the action play. It seemed like you'll be much more involved in the combat and where you position your characters and everything. And plus, when it comes to the Yakuza series, there's a crap ton of mini games that's going to be fully fleshed out for you to be able to partake in. So I know it's going to be crap ton of hours. I know a ton of hours. I'm looking maybe about 70 to 80 hours with this game, and that's a lot of time to put into, because I didn't get a chance to really get involved with the other mini games in the last entry. So definitely can't wait to see what other things they're going to be introducing, and they pretty much uploaded a long trailer to pretty much show you what the game has to offer. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But the game that I'm definitely anticipating, which is number 2, is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. You don't understand. I made a ton of videos talking about this game. I've been looking forward to this JRPG for a very, very long time. It's been what? Almost 10 years, or a little bit over 10 years, about 11, maybe 11 years since this game was announced, and then it would disappear. And the game is created by, of course, Cygames themselves. They're pretty much the owners of the Grand Blue Fantasy series. It started out as a mobile game, but then eventually it spun off to many different type of genres, especially with Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising game, which is a fighting game as well, which I bought on Steam, and man, I'm enjoying every last bit of it. But this one I was anticipating the most, which was the action JRPG that I was waiting for, and finally we have a release date, and it's coming out February 1st. And this is the crazy thing. You got Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. That come out January 28th. And then you're talking about February 1st Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. So, which JRPG I'm going to play first? And that's something I'm going to have to just debate whether or not what game I'm going to invest in first, and what game I can knock out of the park faster than the other. So I gotta see what the length is going to be when it comes to Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. But this is a game that I've been looking forward to. I just love the character designs. I love the action role-playing combat system that they have, and the fact is that they also have a multiplayer, which is going to be more like a Monster Hunter, or you have to hunt down different enemies as far as bounties are concerned, and you be able to play online with a couple of other friends and be able to play these cool, awesome characters. And I'm looking forward to see what the story is all about as well. So man, there's a lot to be found here, and a lot to pretty much dissect and break down. So I can't wait to when this game releases, because I'm going to definitely produce a lot of content surrounding this game, give you my overall thoughts and opinions on it. But this is definitely a game I'm looking forward to. And then of course, another game that I'm looking forward to, and this is a tactical RPG, and it's made by Atlas, which is called Unicorn Overlord. Now, this is pretty much, in my personal opinion, a spiritual successor to the Ogre Battle series, which released years ago on the SNES and then on the Nintendo 64, which I have both the SNES and the Nintendo 64 version, which is pretty much a military or a political type tactical JRPG that released years ago. But now this is pretty much a spiritual successor, but much better. Love the art style. It kind of remind me, if I could be wrong, but it looks like the artist that created, that did the artwork for Odin Sphere, which is another title that came out, especially that's a title that came out on the PS2 that had a unique anime, almost like paper-like graphical style that it had to the game. But this one is pretty much up in the ante. You pretty much have a unit, or you have a various few units, and you be able to command them throughout the fields, take over enemy bases as well. And then when you encounter enemy units, you leave the overworld and you go straight into a tactical, or you go straight into a turn-based type gameplay mechanics, which I definitely enjoy and can't wait to see how the game works out. And it's also going to have some type of relationship system that the main characters will have with other characters in the game as well. So I can't wait for this game to come out, because this is another game that I'm looking forward to. The character designs is just amazing, and like I said, the combat is something that really has me getting that nostalgia factor that brings me back to the Ogre Battle series. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And then most importantly, the game that it's so many games that I'm looking forward to, but this game right here, which is Uning Chronicles. Uning Chronicles, the 100 Heroes. Now, this is a spiritual successor. We have a lot of spiritual successors here, but it's definitely a spiritual successor to a Konami JRPG back in the day called Suikoden, which Suikoden is actually going to have a remaster coming soon. We supposed to expect it in 2024, but who knows? But this is a spiritual successor to this. I did a video talking about this, but more information is definitely releasing. But as far as this is concerned, the original developers behind Suikoden, the original game, had pretty much left Konami a long time ago, and they decided to start their own studio, and they wanted to bring back that series because Konami had pretty much buried Suikoden. So why not continue it on through another franchise? And this right here is something that I'm looking forward to, it because as you see in the titles, it's called 100 Heroes, which means there's over 100 different characters in this game that you'll be able to collect and actually have in your party. Now, the reason why there's 100 characters is for the simple fact is this game is pretty much a turn-based JRPG, but it's also a war simulation as well, because pretty much you take control of 3 different characters, which they're pretty much 3 different youths, and they come together to fight against an oppressive government, and to fight back and take back their country, like you will find in Suikoden series as well. And what happens is, with these characters, you pretty much come together and you form an alliance or a liberation army or a rebellion group, and you find a base and you set up the base. And then when you find the different party members, each party members pretty much add their unique flair to the base. As the base town gets built, you'll be able to add item shops, restaurants, shops where you're able to upgrade your weapons and your armor, your rooms, and everything like that. So there's so much you can do in this game. So on top of that, when it comes to the turn-based, instead of you having your traditional 3-party team or maybe a 4-party team, this has 6 party members. And what makes it so unique is, depending on what characters and their relationships that they have, you can actually create unity attacks as well, since they have a relationship and they know one another, which I can't wait to see the combinations of different characters. And then you also have a strategy simulation type of gameplay where you have your own units and your own army, and you go out into the battlefield, and the battlefield will also determine the outcome of the story depending on what happens to your characters. So there's a lot here to really soak in, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. And then of course, I'm looking forward to this RPG, and it's free to play, and I talked about it here on this channel. It's called Zenless Zone Zero. This is another game. This is from the Huyoverse, the people who created Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. So this is another game made by these developers, and I was invited to a private beta. I was under an NDA at the time, but I actually, after the NDA was lifted, I was able to give you my thoughts and opinions on it. But this is definitely a game that I really want to soak my time into, because I really found the gameplay really fun, especially as you start progressing farther into the game. But this is something that I really find interesting, is because I'm not really into free-to-play games, and especially gacha games on top of that. But what really caught my attention is unique urban punk style that it has, the vibrant characters, the unique character designs, and oh my god, the animations, man. It's really well animated. The characters are full of life, and I really enjoy it. And the story and the premise that's set up really had me pulled in as well, to want to get to know the world and get to know these characters much more. And that high intensity combat system is really cool, where you can tag out your agents back and forth to be able to create these crazy combos. So I can't wait to see what other I guess you could say mechanics and other things that they're going to be adding to this game as the game progresses. But Zenless Zone Zero, definitely looking forward to it, and you can check the video out as well if you're interested. And then, yes, Vision of Mana. You can check out my, I guess you would say, my reaction to the video. Yes, I lost my mind. I've been a fan of the Mana series ever since I played it on the SNES with Secret of Mana. I also had the multi-tap, so I was able to play 3 players. So this is my first time playing like a multiplayer action RPG, especially with my brothers and my dad. We was actually able to play it together and really enjoy that. And as I said before, man, the series has been in slumber for such a long time because of the performance of the later games. It didn't do too well, but Square Enix definitely decided to give it a chance once more when they did a remaster, or a remake, I would say, of Secret of Mana, and then they remake Trials of Mana, which never came to the States on the SNES, and they decided to remake it and bring it here. And because you guys have supported it, now look what we have. We have a brand new entry into the Mana series, and this is what happens when you show some support for unique titles like this, or niche titles like this. Because man, Visions of Mana, man, I can't wait to get my hands on this game. You actually still have different party members. The world looks much more expansive than the previous titles, and I'm just saying, man, saying to the Mana series, welcome back. I'm glad to have you back. So I can't wait to see what this game has to offer, and it comes out sometime mid-2024, so hopefully we get some details on that pretty soon. And then last but not least, the last game, the 7th game, and what better way to end this list is to have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Now, like I said before, despite my opinion, me not really liking the story, and the fact is that what they how Square Enix pretty much tricked us into thinking that we're going to get an actual remake 1-to-1 or something close to it, but with some additions added to it to improve on what we have of the original. But instead they gave us a completely different game. Now, like I said before, I'm not really a fan of the story, but what I do, and I'll be lying to you guys, what I enjoy about the game itself is the fact is that the representation of the characters, man. Those characters bring back so much joy to me, man. And the way they express themselves and how it look visually, man, it just looks incredible. But most importantly, man, I enjoyed the hell out of the gameplay. They were able to somehow put together and create a hybrid between action-based combat, and then you have your typical traditional Final Fantasy ATB combat system, and he was able to cross those together to make one hell of a compelling and addictive combat system that kept me coming back for more. And that's the reason why I really enjoy Final Fantasy VII Remake, simply off the strength of the engaging combat system that just kept me coming back, with the weapon with the weapon upgrade system, the materia system, and they did a complete overhaul over those mechanics, and I really enjoy it. And this is a combat system that I hope that they would adopt and put them in future Final Fantasy games moving forward, opposed to going strictly action like Final Fantasy 16. But I won't get into it. But with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it's supposed to be releasing February 29th, which is weeks after Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. So we have Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, January 28th. Then we have Grand Blue Fantasy Rebirth, which is coming February 1st. And then we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming in February 29th. So man, 3 major RPGs that's going to be coming out. And I have to make a decision of how I'm going to approach this, because a lot of them are going to require my time. But with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, they're introducing more gameplay mechanics. Now you can craft items. They're adding the new summons. Now you got team up attacks where you can pair up your characters together, link them together, and just do all kinds of different setups and combinations, which is also going to be pretty cool. And decided to go more of an open zone approach, where the places and the locations are much more expansive, which means there's going to be a ton of side quests in the game as well, to pretty much, fill in some of that space. Since this is not the final game, we still have one more game to go, and the game is going to be going all the way up to the Ancient City, and we already know what happens in the Ancient City in Final Fantasy VII when it comes to the fate of Aerith. But because of what the developers are stating and hinting at, there are probably going to be some things that's going to surprise us. So definitely want to play the game to see what these shocking reveals is going to be, so I can make content about it and give you my overall thoughts and opinions on it. But that pretty much wraps up this list. I'm looking forward to Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Unicorn Overlord, Uning Chronicles, Zenless Zone Zero, Visions of Mana, and of course Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. These are the games that I'm looking forward to, JRPGs that I'm looking forward to in 2024. So let me know, what's your list? What JRPGs are you looking forward to in 2024? Definitely let me know in the comment sections below, and let me know why you're looking forward to it. So this wraps up this video. This is MugenLord signing off. I'll see you Game Fiends later. Peace out.